We are now on the live stream, and I'm going to start the recording so I can put this on. Hello and welcome. Yes, surprise. James Lott Jr. is on. This is Extra Connections with James Lott Jr. here on JLJ Media. I know you guys are like, he's on right now. This is crazy. But I want to introduce to you a soap opera that's on the audios. Yes, it's on the audios. And I am telling you, this show is good. Season 1 is out. Season 2 is coming soon on January 18th. And it stars somebody in it that's right here in front of you talking to you. I'm one of those people. And we're wearing shirts, me and the creator, writer, producer, just the guy
that I made.
That he made. We have these, I'm Still Dead. And the guy this is a reference to is here also. But I wanted to, the show is called Tomorrow's a New Day. Tomorrow is a new day, right? I'm bringing to you the creator and also the guy whose voice I love as the narrator, Aaron D. Wallis and Gregory Barbera. How are you guys?
Hi, I'm wonderful.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you?
Welcome to the show. I am going to do little church announcements. We are Extra Connections here on JLJ Media. So while you are here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, all that kind of stuff. Also, if you are so inclined, we have super chats. So if you want to give a little tip jar to us, hit that little $ button and give a little, like that, and give it to us also. But also, as you're watching the show, you are helping us also, and hit the like button too while you're here. Even if you hate me, love to hate me, hit the like button. Do that also, please. We're here to talk about the show. Is so good. Now in the chat, the live chat, we're talking about this show, nothing else. We're not talking General Hospital or Wife to Live. We're talking about Tomorrow's a New Day. My fans will do that sometimes. We'll get into something else. We're not doing that right now. That's my other shows I do. But this is part of the whole audio drama movement, which, obviously I have 17 of them, some part of that. And it started with Forever, almost said Forever's a New Day. that other soap that I did, Forever and a Day. Because we're all part of this whole machine of putting out content for you to listen to that is just as good or not better than the soaps that are out right now. Did I say that? All right. Yeah. So, gentlemen, I think I said that. Did I make something? Well, this one of the story. You guys, welcome to the show. And I want to start with you, Mr. Aaron D. Wallis. This is part of the what network? Please tell us what network is.
Southern Queer Network, which is something I started with Rick Clifton, who is an executive producer, director, and also co-starring in the new season of Tomorrow's Movie.
I guess, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And it was just, he and I are both from the South, and I just feel like there's this void in the South of queer creators and contents that don't get the noticed as much as other people do. So I wanted to do something that I could create where I could help showcase those other queer creators.
Yeah, and so we had this talk actually a while back, you and your partner, which is kind of weird because it's also his partner, but his partner a different way, Gregory's. You and Ty Figueroa were on my show a couple of years ago, or last year, probably it was a year, talking about queers and soaps, which was your other, which was also a new thing. And you have embraced the queer label. How's that been for you in the public?
I don't think it's hurt us. I mean, it might. Maybe people don't want to share our stuff as much because they still see the the negativity around that word. But I'm like, just embrace it. We're here, we're queer. Listen to our audio dramas.
Yes. Matt Litchfield is here of Spectrum Celebrity Events, my buddy Matt. You guys know Matt. Mm-hmm. Y'all know Matt. And so Matt is hi, Matt. He's in here watching. And other people are watching too. So you can comment in the chat. If you have any questions for them, please put that in there also if you like. And now I want to make sure this is all on record. When did you write Tomorrow is a New Day originally?
Oh, you're gonna have to go back.
I'm a little shady, so that's why I just wanted to get that out there now, folks.
I was in college, and it was probably 2008, 2009, around that time. And my professor I knew, had started this Arkansas Radio Theater, and he was doing kind of like what we're doing with podcasts now. He was creating one acts, shows, just lots of content. And he knew I love soap operas, and he asked if I would be interested in doing an old-fashioned radio soap opera. And that's how it came about. I was like, of course. It was like a dream come true. I always wanted to create my own soap. So getting to do that, I was probably about 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. And that's how that all came about.
A few weeks
However,
ago.
there was,
Just a few weeks ago.
yeah, just a few weeks ago. I mean, I haven't, I had a birthday, so I'm 22 now. But the thing I always remembered about it is I didn't get to do a full, like, true version I wanted to do because this was early 2000s, and we'd come a long way, but we still had a long way to go. So there wasn't any LGBTQ representation in my soap at the time. And that was something I knew I wanted to do. I had seen other people doing audio dramas, like you, James, and then Candace, and forever. I was like, I could do that. I have all these skills, and it's something I want to do. Stop telling myself I can't do it and do it. So that's how 2.0 came about. And like Sawyer was originally female. Drake was just a straight cop in town. And I wanted to change those things up. I wanted to create something different.
So what you did is you actually, like I said, 2.0, you updated it.
Yes.
To reflect kind of what you wanted to see yourself.
Yes.
Now I'm going to switch really quick to Gregory. I want to ask you, were you a soap watcher at all? Did you watch soaps? Do you listen to audiobooks or audio that, like, any, like, those are precursor to this?
Right. Remember, your boyfriend's watching.
He is. So the really funny thing is that so I grew up with my mother watching All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital. And then from there on the East Coast, it was General Hospital, and then it would go to Oprah Winfrey. So as when I was in the elementary school and I would come home a little bit later, I would hit the tail end of One Life to Live into General Hospital. And then once I got into high school, I was able to hit, the tail end of All My Children into, One Life to Live in General Hospital. So those are the characters that I would watch. And then my mother also watched, Dallas Knots Landing and whatnot. So when Tommy is watching and, researching or doing whatever, there was, I won't say what character. I just remember kind of laying there listening to it because it was a little late at night, and I just kind of turned over and I was like, so did she have the twins yet and go crazy? And Tommy's like, no, not yet, that's next season. I'm like, oh, okay, I know where we are then. So maybe.
Okay, I like the answer. No, because also, did you guys ever read audiobooks or audio tapes or anything like that? Because I know my mother was into that for a while.
Yeah, I did audio tapes, and I remember, so my commute for my undergrad was about a solid hour drive for my undergrad, and I remember my first audiobook was actually the Da Vinci Code. And listening to that, and then kind of getting into all of that, and then kind of getting sucked into the story and the words, and letting my mind and its imagination kind of just happen, and sitting in the parking lot until I could get to a point where I could press stop and move on, and then start my day. So yeah.
Yeah, my mom was one of those faithful, had all the cassettes, and she was like a horror fan. She lost a lot of Stephen King, but she also, but she also, and Anne Rice and all them, but she also loved, science fiction. She also loved James Patterson. That was her guy. And there was a million books coming out. And so I heard of audiobooks when I get in the car with them. Like if I went to their house and we decided, condense cars and go somewhere, I'd be in the back seat. I'm like, what's that? I'm listening to this audiobook. I'm like, oh, they do different voices. And then of course my great aunt was back. She loves the old radio dramas. I was like, they have them all on tape now somewhere, or DVD or whatever somewhere. And so I thought, so when Casey Hutchinson came to me about Forever and a Day, I was like, yeah, I remember that whole kind of thing. And I know that Audible was just starting to get big. And that was like when we were talking about it. I thought that's an interesting concept where you have to, it's like listening to a record. You got to take all visual out, and you got to listen. And I was like, would that be hard to do that? Like to listen. I like reading. I'm a big visual person. I like to read. I read a lot of books. But I was like, no, actually, this is kind of cool too, because you said if you have long commutes, like I'm in LA, everything's a long commute in LA. You have a solid hour at least to go somewhere. So I went in my headphones, I started listening to audiobooks. So I'm like, oh, I'm kind of liking this. So that's very cool.
Well,
Um,
and on I keep things a little bit shorter because I love that kind of snackable content. My commute to work is no more than 35 minutes. I love being able to start something and finish something by the time I get to work.
I like that. Well, I also want to mention, I want to get into a little bit. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the show, but I want to get into folks out there who are thinking like, oh, like who does these things? So, Aaron, you are in Arkansas.
I am in
Right.
Arkansas, yes.
So now most people don't even know where that is. They're like, where's that on the map? It's not one of those states that like everybody knows about and talks about, of course. And I wanted to ask you, so for you, all of your content comes from somewhere else, basically. It comes from another state, another city. You're like one of the few folks I know that is bringing up all this major content from Arkansas. Congratulations. I kind of like that.
Well,
So for you, did you feel like, 'cause all of a sudden you guys were around? Remember, I found you guys online, so I'm like, who are these people? So I mean, so how did you get the inspiration to go from I'm in this state that no one really talks about, most content's built somewhere else, to I'm going to be the person to start doing it?
I was just tired of wasting my time. I had always dreamed of doing things like this, but like I'm from Arkansas, so I kept telling myself, someone like me can't make it, can't do this. They can't make this happen. And then one day my husband was like, I finally let him read some of my stuff. He's like, oh, I like, this is fun. I said, do you think I could do it? And that created a spark and that passion came back. And I was like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to make it happen. And
I think, go ahead, please go ahead.
well, with my major and degree and all that, I have a lot of these skills where I was like, I can do a lot of this stuff on my own. It's hard and takes time. Really, my only struggle I had making Tomorrow's a New Day is finding the actors.
Yeah, that's really
That was the hardest part for me, was finding the actors, which is probably why my actors are from all over the world.
Mine too. So my thing is, you're a great example of nowadays, because of technology, that you can actually do this from any state. That's the reason why I bring it up, is that folks out there who are watching, or I know a couple in the chat room, hi Chandra, who are aspiring. I have classes on this kind of stuff. They come to my classes and stuff. You can kind of start from anywhere. I mean, you started from anywhere. And I just mentioned getting actors from all over the place, because we do it all through Zoom, folks, or through whatever program you use, right?
And a lot of my actors were friends, or I met because of Twitter. So it's crazy how this world I never knew about really helped me make my dreams come true.
And Gregory, did you ever think you'd be involved in an audio project?
He missed the audition day, like the deadline.
Oh, tell us, please.
He sent it like the next day, like, oh, I hope this isn't too late. And I was
like, oh. And it's even worse is that I'm a teacher, and I would have given points off for being late. 10 points off for being late. No, I certainly didn't. I was in a local play. I have a friend of mine that wrote a play called Priapism, and it's very interesting on how we've kind of circled around, because I was actually the silent character that was on the stage. That was his conscious or imagination that couldn't be seen by anybody, but was on the stage and kind of moved in between the scenes, which is very interesting that this is what I'm doing now as the narrator for Tomorrow's a New Day. But when he put out a cast call, all I did was respond, oh, that sounds nice. I'm trying to, because my partner Tommy Figueroa does Queers and Soaps with him, so I was just trying to be supportive. I'm like, oh, that sounds really nice. And then I got DM'd. Usually when I get DM'd by somebody, it's a little bit better than a script.
I love it. No, your voice is great. I love your voice, and I can hear you talk all day long. I can. I just totally agree. Coach Shonda goes, Gregory, I don't accept late work either. Automatic 0.
He got lucky. I had like just under the amount I needed. And that's one of the things. you think you can't do it. There's times I thought, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I can't get enough people. But it's just like, no, that means as the writer and the creator, I've got to get creative.
Right.
And that's why, like Drake, he is in the show Australian. He was not written to be Australian. When I did the casting call, I didn't care who auditioned or what. I was willing to change backstories, names, all that, just to help people, just to make this happen.
Yeah, we'll get to the actual story. But Greg, you were going to say something about that because you have somebody out here too.
When I, he sent me the script, the 5 lines that had to be read from the different characters. A few things that first, I had a really busy weekend, and I really I didn't have plans on doing this or auditioning. He sent it to me. So out of the respect and relationship between him and Tommy, I was going to do it. Then I was embarrassed that I did do it late. I had a very busy weekend and submitted it the next day when he did want it that Sunday. But I submitted it just to show face, not to even get, like, that wasn't even what my goal was in any of this. And I do remember coming to reading the different lines, going to the different lines and kind of rehearsing them and doing them, and then ending with, on our next episode of Tomorrow's a New Day.
Oh,
I was like, I kind of like was like, oh, I'd listen to that.
I did. I loved it. That was good. I did listen to it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But it's funny, we're all doing things. I didn't plan on doing this. I had no doing this at this time. But technology seriously has, and I will pat myself on the back that I did listen to people who are younger than me and who said, James, let's try this during the pandemic. So I want folks out there, you can watch this episodes of Forever New Day and how we started on this channel, how we started. But for those guys who didn't know, I know I have some new people watching. The pandemic happened, everything shut down. All the studios, remember, there was no soaps for a while. There were no new soaps for a while, except for Days of Our Lives. They're the only ones. But there were no soaps, and everything shut down. Like literally everything. Hollywood shut down, and New York shut down. It shut down. So we were sitting around going, now what? And there were so many actors and wannabe actors and solo actors and kind of actors who were just like, we have nothing to do. And so we started that. We started Forever's New Day and Miss Road, my other show, all those during that time period. Just to see what would happen, like almost for shits and giggles, see what happened. And then they became popular, and then we saw Broadway.com has their own certain ones, and now there's a bunch popping up everywhere that we're just like, wow, I love it. I think it's just so wonderful, and including Tomorrow's a New Day.
There's room for everyone.
There's a lot out there now, which I love, and a couple that I helped put my hands in. Century, and there's some stuff coming out soon from other people that are just.
Is that the one from
Shanika Freeman,
which is in the spinoff of Tomorrow's a New Day?
It's in that. It's Old Cove, right?
It's Old Cove.
Yeah, so they have more coming up too. Right.
Yeah, that's like, I don't really watch GH, but I still love soaps in general. So I wanted to that's my way of honoring GH is by doing Old Cove, which is a spinoff of Tomorrow's a New Day. So it's kind of like how they did Port Charles. I thought, oh, that'll be fun to do, because then people will be like, oh, that's GH did that. And it gets people talking about other soaps too.
Well, folks know my channel. I love spinoffs. I have a bunch of spinoffs, so I love spinoffs. But no, that's all things that now we have a bunch of people doing stuff. So Tomorrow's New Day is one of those stands out. So let's talk about actually. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it together. I know you and I talked. I gave you some advice, kind of, how I got started and stuff. And folks, I teach a class on this, so you can come to JLJ Media and I can tell you about that also. And I think Chandra was in that class. Anyway, we have a class on that. But it's one of those things where I tell you how I do it, and you can modify it to how you can do it. So I saw you starting to do it and getting your cast together and getting it all together. And then you released the first season. So what is the story of Tomorrow's a New Day? Here's the meat, folks. Here's the meat potatoes. Here it is. Here you go.
The story of Tomorrow's a New Day is about the Abernathy family, which some behind the scenes stuff, I changed the name. In the first series, they were called the Wordsworth, and I just didn't like the way it rolled off my tongue. So I was like, no, I'm changing that. But it's about the Abernathy's just set, like, as it started to come together, I was like, oh my God, this is right. But it's about this, rich family in this small community, but this also this big community. It's, typical soap opera world. And our leader is killed, shot, and we don't know by who. And then that leads into, always like when I write something, I'd like there to be something that just starts with a bang.
Right.
And then it just gets into the craziness of the family, where it's like we even kind of forget the murder. Like, I love when soaps do that. Someone gets murdered and then it's like 6 months and you finally get some knowledge. So I like to play with how soaps do it, to kind of just.
But you do something very interesting. That's interesting. This is where Gregory comes in. Or can we reveal that? Or should we not reveal that?
No. I mean, Gregory is we know he's the
That
narrator.
guy.
We know he's Lewis Abernathy.
Yes.
He's killed, he's killed in the very, very first episode.
But you
I think I'm
I think-
alive for the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I think he's alive for like a few lines, and it's just like,
I love it. Yes.
I think just one line where I think my first line or two, and then I'm like, I'm dead.
well,
All that, I'm dead. It's crazy.
if you listen to Tomorrow's a New Day, you'll realize you can tell the time I wrote it, because it was very much, think of Desperate Housewives. Mary Alice is the narrator who, she killed herself. Then there's Veronica Mars, who's the narrator. Like, it's that's where the ideal came from, was the narrator also being a character.
I love it. I love it. Again,
I didn't like the idea of my narrator just, and the door opens. I mean, I'd rather Gregor be like, my bastard son just walked through the door with a smug look on his face.
No, I love it. They just mentioned he's Mary Alice from Desperate Housewives. Yes, exactly.
It's just so interesting, because when I got the word that I would be in this audio drama, I was like, I don't want you to feel obligated, right? Please don't feel obligated. Please don't feel obligated just because Tommy, kind of deal. So days go by, and I think Tommy didn't know that I got the part, or maybe he did. I don't even know. Whatever. He kind of was like, so you're in an audio. I was like, yeah, I got a really small part. I was like, I think I'm just doing, chapter 6 at the Abernathy Manor. And he's like, I think you're doing a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, all right. Wow. Oh, there were moments where I had to remind myself that this New York sharp-tongued accent person had to wrap his mouth around things like Abernathy and Wollstonecraft. And,
Well, I mean, that's interesting, because everyone in the show kind of comes from some different part of the world. So none of these accents are even similar. We got Australian, New Yorker, Southern, and there's many different kinds of Southern.
Right. I don't have an accent.
Yes, exactly. So season 1 comes out. It happens. Now as you look back on it, how do you feel about it, Aaron?
I still feel good, because I accomplished what I wanted to do, which was to make it and show myself I could do it. And I did a lot of it. I'm so thankful for the cast I had, because they were very patient, worked with me, because they knew I was the writer, the director, the producer, the editor. And sometimes we needed to redo some lines, and sometimes I needed this. And I'm very so thankful that they were very passionate about this project as well. But there are things I would change if there's a 3.0.
Yeah, of course.
But that's just because I haven't directed a lot. And now going into season 2 and having someone like Rick Clifton, who has directed a ton, and seeing what he could bring from the characters and how they could grow. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have had that kind of directing in season 1. Because I was very, I don't know a lot about directing.
Yeah, something you learn. You can learn it. It's funny because yes, I look back on my stuff and I see my first season of Miss Row was like, Oh, that's interesting. I can now sounds because editing too. Sounds. Oh, now I do sounds, and you're right. And also the writing. What I found
Man,
for
I
me
wish.
too is that I learned for some of my other shows, their narration could also be cheeky because Gregory just said it. Because just saying that, I go, yeah. I have a couple of shows where the narrator literally kind of is part of the show too, which is something new. Also, they don't just other shows. They read the exposition, but for a couple of my shows, we have intonations and you say you make it like, okay, here they go again, kind of thing, almost breaking the fourth wall kind of thing. That's what I like about this show because I just here's Lewis making some commentary like he's behind the scenes. He's dead.
Mhm.
So that's why I like that. I do. I like that. Are you getting used to the acting part and lines, Gregory, as you more and more you do it?
Yes, no, yes. I really want to honor his words. So as much as I do go and I do read it. I read it a few days before I kind of go through the whole thing, and then the morning of our recordings I'll do my readings again, and it's just very funny because like I'll like the few little spots that I'll get stuck on, I'll like continuously get stuck on and kind of work my way through it, and I'm more embarrassed that I'm stuck on some of the words excuse me, more so because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want to do this, I want to make sure that it's good, it's what he wants, and it honors what he wants, and it honors everybody else as well. So like there's, even though there's just a few lines, you still, I'm still trying to do the best that I can, and I'm kind of enjoying it.
Oh, you're wonderful. And one thing I like to do with my actors is I know a lot of people wouldn't do this. I'm very much, if there's a better way to say it and you can come up with a better way, that's fine. If you can make like we have a scene with James and Rick, and it's the same scene, but they made it their own. I was like, that's perfect, love it. Like, I'm not one of those writers or creators like, well, that's the line, you need to say it like that. I'd listened to Drama Queens, which is a One Tree Hill podcast, and Sophia Bush said she's always kind of lived by this thing where the best idea always wins, no matter who it comes from. And I was like, yes, because I just want to create something fun, something that people like. I don't need all the awards or anything. I just want to create something where someone's like, oh no, I love that show. It's a lot of fun.
No, so I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I would say I am engaged to my scripts, not married to them.
Yes. I tell Greg all the time, if you need to change it, change it. As long as you're not changing the storyline in the middle of the
Well, yeah, same thing. I always say, well, if we can still get to where I need to go, and sometimes there's a couple of times where I'm like, no, I want it done this way. But for the most part, and it's funny. So now we're getting to season 2, which comes out January 18th, but we start recording it. So he asked me to be in his show. I'm not an actor, folks. I just tell you all the time. I keep getting written to shows. But I always say yes to my friends. I never say no. So I always say, but I'm like, I'm not an actor. I just play it on TV. No. But he wrote me in. I played Richard, and he's kind of a bitch. That's all I know. I don't know anything. But he gave me a family basically, and so I have a television family, an audio drama family, with Rick and with my girl, who plays my daughter, Diana. And we had our first kind of read together to record. He's right. It was like, because Rick and I am a director and I do it myself too. And Homegirl, she's just like very open. Also, we all three of us were very open. Like nobody was offended, right? No, we were not offended. Like nobody was like, I'm just like, so I'm like, whatever you want to do. I'm like, I'm here to make it look good too. And I think that's one thing you listen from your actors. As I'm seeing we have a group chat and all this stuff, that everybody's so invested in you in the show, and Gravy's just expressed it too. That must feel wonderful. First of all, everybody's invested, but that was we had a big surprise, and we did our reading together. We're like, oh, there's something there. Like, and that's the lightning the bottle stuff. I love that.
Yeah, that's been one of the best things is some of the cast were my friends before. Like I knew Beth through John, and now Beth is in some of your work. I met Andy through Twitter, and he's now in some of, like, I love that this online project has brought people that probably would have never met ever together.
Yes, I'm putting Chantal into one of my projects that's coming up. So yeah, we're all sharing. No, I want to invite home just before Gregory starts. Invite home. A lot of us do share actors. I mean, like I have actors I share with Forever and a Day. There's actors we share. I mean, like we're all like, we just kind of it's all about us having some good work.
It's so funny too, because there's been times they've been like, "You're okay." I'm like, "No, you go do you. Be in whatever you want to be in. Don't you don't need my permission."
Nope.
I'm glad they've discovered something they didn't know they loved.
Exactly, that's what I say. Because first of all, you still discovered them first, so you can still claim dance.
And I've had people tell me like, "What you're doing has inspired me to do my own." And I'm like, "Me,
little
old me in Conway, Arkansas."
See?
Has decided, has inspired you. I never thought in a million years anyone would be inspired by me.
Gregory, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, it's just so interesting on how this online media kind of Arkansas, California, New York, all over the place, Australia, and then the next piece is that the love and the honor that of meeting each other in this kind of relationship that I have met you. I have met you. I have met Andy. Like I've actually traveled now and with a purpose to now physically meet to meet everybody, because it really is kind of turning into this very beautiful kind of family on how we had this pandemic. We didn't know what to do. We found this kind of medium where we could just do what we're doing right now. And now all of a sudden, I'm actually coming to California to see you, James.
I will never forget your man running in. I said, "Come to Daddy," and he ran into my arms. I'll never forget that. That was the hilarious thing.
Like, you go do that because I'm tired.
Exactly. You're like, "Hi," but it was so good to me. I fell in love with you, Greg, because I talked to them the most. I talked to you the least. I lied. I fell in love with you. I bet you were like, "Oh my God, I love him."
Yeah. Well, because I understood the really cool part for me right now is with Queers and Soaps, I was just the husband. I really was. And I was like, sure, what time am I supposed to be there? What would you like me to wear? What should I say? I was great. I'm good with that.
Greg and John hold our purses as we're doing our thing.
No, seriously. I like, and I'm like totally like whatever. And so every once in a while, I'll like just look at Tommy and I'll be like, "It's my turn."
Well, I'd be very transparent. Once I met Gregory, we're around the same age, so I think we connected.
Yeah.
We're both our age. I'm not saying our age. I'm saying we look good. I was saying that. Good. But I think that helped us connect a little bit too, because I was like, because I don't know much. I knew about the boys, but I didn't know much about you. And so when you guys started actually talking, having conversation, I'm like, we would be friends if we lived in the same. Right. We are friends. I mean, we would be friends if we lived in the same city. I can see myself relating to you a little more than just because we could.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I felt about that. And I gotta say, because Matt's in the chat, I gotta say we all came together because
of Matt. I was gonna say, can't forget Spectrum Celebrity Events, which they have an event coming up in March. If you like Lone Star 911,
correct. I met them as well. It's just so weird on how like we were all during the pandemic. We were all this is all we had. This was it. So we were watching things.
Our mothers told us don't meet up with strangers, and now that's exactly what we do.
I've met up with James and I, we were don't go into the van.
Right, exactly. Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Don't go into the van. Aaron, you were the generation don't talk to strangers on the internet. We didn't have those. Ours was live and ours was real.
Yes. Now you just get in random Ubers.
And, I was gonna say I went into a van once by accident. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story, Gregory. Another story.
Lucky you.
Thank you. Long time ago, but no, you're right about that though. This whole thing. I mean, seriously, and we're also changing the community of Academy of Arts and Sciences. The Emmys are watching us now. There's been talk to add a category. The ISA Awards, which of course I'm a winner of, one of them, for an audio drama, added the category last year. It's up again this year. It is people are coming to me in the industry and telling me how much they are seeing the effect that what we are doing, you guys, what we are doing is actually changing the landscape of entertainment. And I never thought that in a million years of my life. At my age, I thought I've changed the industry. I'm like, oh, okay.
I've had soap actors or actresses follow me, and I'm just like, you think I'm interesting enough to follow what? And then the Bay followed like Tomorrow's a New Day, Queers and Soaps, and then me and Tommy, and I was just like, the Bay followed us. And someone's like, they look at me because they're not soap fans. I'm like, okay, they've won 23 Emmys.
Right,
they're like, oh, okay.
No, we are a tight community. I mean, it really is a tight community, and and for you guys, I know everybody in it. For you guys, it's fun to watch. You guys get to meet people and get to, like you said, get to meet them, know who they are, and they're seeing who you are. I promote you guys all the time, obviously. But I think it's just kind of this community is small, and a lot of people are very nice. The thing is, we get that we're all working hard to put these shows out, whether it's a TV, video, audio, doesn't matter what it is. It's still hard to do.
Oh yeah, I'm tired.
You're tired. I'm tired too.
I always tell people, I'm like, if my 8 to 5 didn't get in the way of this, I wouldn't be as tired.
No, that's okay, folks. Let's keep that in mind. I do this full time. This is my job now. He still has another job, and he's doing this. Gregory has another job, and he's still doing this. So I'm like, that is to be admirable. But that shows again, if you really want something, right, you can find time to do it.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 side jobs I do as well, and I'm still making time for this. And then Tommy will send me a list of like, here's what we're watching. I'm like, oh,
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, the other day, somebody, I think it was you, Aaron, got in the way of my afternoon with him.
Oh,
I had to just sit there and watch episode after episode.
Tommy gave me the list. Aaron didn't create the list. Aaron did his homework.
So I am now all caught up on Falcon Crest.
Oh, that wasn't me. I'm not a part of that segment.
Oh, well,
that's hilarious.
I had to tell Tommy, I'm like, Falcon Crest isn't my favorite. Do you care to do it with someone who actually loves it?
No, Thomas says no, it was Eric.
Yeah,
yes.
Eric got in your way. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, Eric. That's all right. It was a test because he did his thing at one side of the house. I did my thing at the other side of the house, and I checked in every once in a while. I gave him a cup of coffee. I gave him breakfast. Gave him another cup of coffee.
See, you and John are so much alike. I'll be working. I'll be like, honey, can I get it? He's like, there you go. Right before this, we were having a brainstorming session about storylines. John has actually gotten into helping flesh out the storylines. He'll be like, oh, what about this? And I'm like, this is why I married you.
Meanwhile, I have no one, everybody. I do it all myself. No one's giving me coffee. No one's off to the side waiting to have sex with me or anything. James by himself, and I don't got nobody. So these two are lucky. I do all the work myself.
I'm still tired because I have to do all that stuff too.
Whatever. I don't got none of that to even look forward to. None of that going on over here in England.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm about to pop my melatonin. Anything about to happen? Because if not,
I'll still take that too. I'm going to lay there. That's fine. I'll do all the work.
I quietly take the melatonin. Mine are sublingual meltables, so you don't know. He hears it open. And then he smells it on my breath.
That's when you know you're of a certain age. Melatonin.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Melatonin before sexy time.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I don't even take melatonin. I just fall asleep anywhere. I can fall asleep standing up. That's how much I do. I'm like a horse. It's like, okay, I'm done. That's it. But anyway, you're very fortunate you have guys that are there to assist you. Some of us.
I am very blessed.
I'm blessed.
Isn't the same, but James does have his lotties. Yes, I do have my fan base. You guys are always so wonderful. That's why I want you guys to tune into this show, because I'm like, if I'm bringing you over to this show because you like me, if you love me,
I'm Lottie's Junior.
Like he is Lottie's Junior. I always call him James Lottie Junior. So if you like my work, start looking at his work.
That's how we became better friends. Is our ideas are like all the stuff we want to do is so similar.
I see. For me, one reason why I have him on this show is because I see a lot of myself in him. And in terms of work ethic, work rights, the love of soaps, the whole thing, an empire building. He's building an empire, folks. So I completely support him, completely.
I
Yes.
told Greg when Greg was like, he just said K back to one of my messages, and I was just like, the Empire thanks you for your service.
I will be retiring in 5 years and 10 months. Not that I'm counting, but
but you're counting, yes.
But I mean, well, I probably won't retire in 5. I actually love teaching. I can't imagine not teaching, so I just say it as the joke.
But wouldn't you rather teach because you just loved it instead of it having to be your source of income?
I would love to teach because I love doing it, and I would love to see the Empire something happen because I would absolutely love to. I enjoyed going to California. I enjoyed going to Arkansas. I enjoyed going to Minnesota. I enjoyed, I've been very lucky. I've traveled to like 37, 38 countries around the world and haven't spent that much time traveling the United States. And one of the things that this has afforded me, and when I say afforded me, I don't mean financially, I mean, the hasn't. It's cost me.
Is
be able to travel.
We're in the red.
We are, but it's okay. That's how all great empires start.
Exactly, that's how you start. Exactly, yeah.
But like I've been to all of these places, just a few quick little places here and there, and and if it wasn't for Tommy and hopping onto the coattails of that joy, I wouldn't be doing it. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I know John's in a world. He's like, I never thought I'd be in this world. Like this is not something he envisioned. However, Greg, I would like to come back to New York soon, and we're saving that trip for when.
Oh, funny. I know I've been wanting to go to New York for a while. So I've been.
So just why don't you just come for the summer and let's just call it even?
Like Matt says he's retiring in 8 weeks. So go on, Matt.
Matt.
Yes.
Good.
Ready.
I will say the only downside to what we do is the time zones. Yes. I feel like all I do is confuse people when I'm just like,
me too. Oh, me too.
All right. Saturday for us, Sunday for Thomas, at 8, it'll be there 1 a.m. or yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's taken me a second. It really has, like in the beginning, and I was like, oh wait, there's a time zone difference. I actually now have to pay attention, and now I'm good.
Well, see, for me, most of what I saw on my end for us, because the pandemic was this way, we record at night. We never record any other time. It's just at nighttime. And most people, it just seems like that's how it works. And it's usually around 7 p.m. my time. So if I try to go a little earlier, it somehow doesn't work for other people on the West Coast. On the East Coast, I don't want to be too late because it's late for them. It's already 10 o'clock their time or 9 o'clock Central. So that's how we do it. And that's how I've been doing it for 3 years. And somehow that's kind of worked. And we also work fast. We work fast. We get through it. So but at times of just setting it up and going, okay, and making sure, did I say that right? And did I do that? And what's that? How many? And I just tell people it's 7 o'clock my time. It's up to you to figure it out. Because I can't figure out what you are in London compared to over there. I mean, in Netherlands and Hawaii. I'm like, you just figure out. You count from where I am.
I asked Tommy. I'm like, what time?
Yeah, what time?
I've been very fortunate too, though. Our people will show up at my 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And I don't know many people, if they didn't enjoy something, would get up on a day they did not have to get up to do something. I mean, I'm struggling to get out of bed before we record. I throw on a hat and be like, there's been one time I have not turned on the camera. I was like, I can't turn on the camera. I can't do it.
I love it.
But going to honoring all of us, all of the actors that are in this performance, like I have a routine in the morning. Like I know I have to take a shower. I have to clear my congestion from the morning. I kind of have to get ready. Not that like I do myself up, but I actually do, even before coming on here, like we all have these like little rituals. I put cologne on. Like
Tommy does that too for our show.
But
Tommy
it's
does that too occasionally.
Yeah. and and it's just so funny, like I make sure, even though like whatever, I brushed my teeth again, I made sure I put a new face on, like in the episode of the Jetsons when Jane Jetson has to go on, she's like
she does. I know she does. Yes, she does. But I think we all have our rituals, because I know for me, what's my drink? I'm gonna make sure I have enough water nearby. Make sure I drink. Make sure my door is closed. Make sure my. I mean, I think we all have our rituals that help you. They help your performance. They do whatever we can do to help your performance.
Absolutely, but it just really is like at 10 a.m. for me to make sure that's where I am and I'm ready, and I wake up early and I kind of do it. I think once I came on and I was like, hello, like I was like. And I was like, I don't think I could do it. I'm like, I feel fine, but I don't sound good. And we didn't, because I listen, because I know the few times that I'm a little congested.
Yeah, you can tell.
And you could hear it, and and I try not to, but it is what it is.
So he's right. No, that's the thing about audio.
Yeah,
it picks up everything clearly. Like the camera picks up everything, but the audio picks up everything. So, and there's no visual prop taken away or anything.
Distraction, correct.
Plus, you're dead, so you can play it off as a little dirt.
You can be congested. You're dead. But can you be? Well, you can. Like, I don't know. When you're dead, does anything even work anymore? I don't know.
There is no Rite Aid in the dead world for me to get a little Mucinex.
Rite Aid.
We kind of live by the days of our lives rules. We make up whatever we want to make up.
I want to ask you for season 2. What can we expect? I mean, just kind of. I know you can't give anything. We can't do spoilers, but what kind of type of stuff can we expect?
New characters who have. Oh, they're gonna be fun. They're feisty. I mean, you're one of them.
I'm one of them. Yes.
You'll get to experience a little bit more of a character I played in season 1. It's funny. I did it in season 1 because like, okay, this is just a character I'm using for Janelle to talk to. But then I started thinking, what could I do? And then I was like, oh, there's so much I could do with this character. I was like, I'll just recast myself. But then I went, let's challenge myself and see if I can do it. So I'm, my role's getting bigger, more deceit, deception. There's gonna be a little love, maybe a little sex, just all kinds of good stuff. Juicy.
Do you really? Go ahead, Gregory.
Sorry, no, there was, talk about the open relationship that we have as far as you, the director, actor, all of us. There was this one scene where I responded to a sex scene. I was the way that it was written. It was like, it was like there were like 2 pieces of it. The first piece it was a little creepy, and then the other piece of it was this doesn't make the LGBTQ moment, the gay love moment, sound positive. So we just I did it, I read it, and we all kind of had a face and we all reacted, and we were able to rewrite it and figure it out, and it was perfect.
Let me explain. When I was writing, I had forgotten that Gregory was the father of this character and was just thinking of him as the narrator.
Right. So I was snarky. I was Greg. I responded as Greg, not as the father who just caught his son and his secret lover in a steamy hot sex scene. And so my response to it was more familiar than it should have been as a father.
And I didn't 4 people had read that too. And I don't, for some reason, until it was said out loud, it was like, that sounds a little incesty.
Right. You're in a family.
Let's rework that. It's funny. It was so funny, but
it was because I was like, I don't like this.
Which, as you're saying, it sounded more like Greg. That's one of the things going into season 2 is season 1 was a lot of what I thought their personalities were, but after them becoming the roles, showing what they have, the characters are reflecting more of kind of like what their strengths are or who they are. And I love that. So that's fun to see.
Yeah, folks out there, when we write these things, we write them. We have our vision, we write it. It's the actors that bring it to life. And, they would say, it ran on a page and on the stage, of course. That's where it starts. But after you get them going, you start seeing stuff. You're like, wow, that's when the magic really happens. Is when you start reading it. You're like, I never thought it that way. Right? And there's some things that I've done. It was funny. I have a show called Fairview Heights, which he did an episode recently, which will be coming out soon. It's my gay straight episode, my gay straight show. But we did one episode where the guy was playing a bully, and he was saying negative remarks, racist remarks to our lead, who's Mexican, but the actor himself was Mexican. I didn't think about that for it. It was kind of weird. He's like, I was calling him names I've been called. And so it was like, I said, okay, do you want to not do that? I can recast the role with somebody else. He goes, no, because actually it was kind of cathartic for him in a weird way to play this bully that has bullied him. So like these kind of shows, you never know. So on the first season, did you have did any of the actors have any kind of moments you know of that came out of some of your scripts that you're just like, wow, like this was one moment you had, but like, can you think of any others?
I know the actress Lauren that plays Elena. She has such a powerful voice that we're looking to explore the more a different side of her. Like right now, she's been very Cruella de Vil, villainy, but we want to see that vulnerable side of Elena. And Lauren has been able to do some things. We're just like, okay. And then that has led in different directions for storylines.
Yes.
Like I had some ideas, and then the actors performed something one way, and I'm like, no, we got to change that storyline because just imagine what they can do with this.
Are there any moments at all that you go, okay, I got it. This is too controversial. I got pulled out.
No, not yet. Besides, I mean, the one that would have been
with that one
fixed.
Yeah, and it controversial. It didn't fit. It didn't flow, and then it was just like, wait, that's a little weird because when I was reading it to myself, I do read it. Obviously, I do a quick run through just for the words kind of deal, and then I put it into the voice. And then by the third time that I kind of read it, it's in the right voice, and I just kept on stumbling over it, and I thought it was just me. Like, I thought it was just me. I was the one who was stumbling over it until then I said it out loud and saw faces. And I was like, okay, I was like, all right. It wasn't me.
The ones who wrote it was even like,
yeah. I was like, can we? And then I think there was just one other time where we just changed one or two words because I just felt, I think it was just the way that it was written and that I responded to something. Wasn't supposed to be, it was supposed to be more like a father being grossed out by it, not just being grossed out by the action.
Yeah. And it's funny, I didn't originally have any sex scenes planned because I was like, is that too much for an audio drama? But then one of the actors was like, I want to live through this character. When am I going to get a little action?
We're going to get it.
Like, all right, I'll write it. That's what you want, with the actor,
I might be dead, but I still want a little bit of action.
Okay, hey, that's right. In the afterlife. Shit.
I need to go down memory lane. I need to go down memory lane for See, James, it's only you and I that know this.
Yeah, I know that. I know
that's
that.
Wayne's World.
All right. That's only because you're a nerd.
Yeah, that's true. That's
fair.
But yes, exactly.
That's one thing about my actors I love is they can say things to me and I don't take it personal. I want it to be great or at least fun. So we're not,
I want it to be great.
When we offer suggestions, it's not coming from a place of like, it's just, we want to help each other improve and do better.
I agree.
Some people get so attached to the work where they're just like, no, it has to be this way. I'm like,
well, the thing is, to be fair, a lot of artists are temperamental. We know that, and but also you feel very to write something. It's very personal.
It is.
So to have someone say, "I don't like that," or "It should be done differently," it could be, even if you say it the nicest way on earth. For some people, it can be really hurtful. It could really hit their ego.
And I've been there before in my other career. I think that's what's helped me get where I'm not as like I'm attached to Tomorrow's a New Day is my baby.
Yeah.
But I can also know when someone's not being critical, where they're trying to offer suggestions. Because in my other career, I've had people pinpoint stuff where just like they ripped it apart, and it was just because they wanted their vision. And so I just learned to detach from projects when someone's given stuff like that. So I think that's what has helped. And I've learned to edit is such a good way to be. There will be lines where it seems fine written, but when I hear it back, I'm like, we'll cut that. Or if that, just
Matt goes, I'm feeling attacked. Oh, Matt. You're a control freak, so that's his life. No, that's not. No, but that's no. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I want it to be good. If there's certain things, I'm like, say it this way. I want you to say it this way, or somebody goes, "We try it out another way. Let's try it out," and I'll choose to take in the end and see which one works. Because for us in the editing room, it's a lot of work.
I guess the only way I would be mad is if I changed something in the editing room and then went back and they're like, I like the original version better. Be like, I just spent 5 hours on that.
So see, for me, it's like, oh my gosh, so everybody, did she die?
Who?
Lisa Marie Presley.
What?
Is that true, Rebecca? Did she really? Oh, I know she went in the hospital for a heart attack. I didn't know, but did she pass away? She's like my age.
Wasn't she just at the?
Yes, at the Golden Globes, because Homeboy won.
Lisa Marie just passed away, John.
Oh my God, that is crazy. She is at 54.
Oh my God!
Wow, I don't say. I'm actually very shocked. Well, rest in peace. I mean, and my heart goes out to her kids and to Priscilla and all of them, because the guy just won for
portraying Elvis.
For Elvis, and he said he loved them. They were sitting in the audience, and again, she's my age, basically. That's kind of crazy. That's weird.
She's been through a lot too. With her son.
Yes,
losing her son. Like, weren't they close? I was under I'm not sure.
Well, she has her son, and she had Riley Keough, who's an actress, her daughter, and she has 2 twin daughters, younger daughters.
Wow.
Married for 4 times. She's married to Nicolas Cage and Michael Jackson, of course, and a few others. So that's wow, interesting. That's all. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. Wow, it's so crazy. We just watched it like 2 nights ago. Again, life is to take it back to this. Life is just that short, and for us to put these audio dramas together, to follow your dreams, that I can't even stress that enough. And Aaron and I, we're both doing it. That's just kind of the whole thing. Is like you have to just kind of go for it.
And that's what I've been trying to do more with just doing what I want to do, and making it happen.
Yeah, we like doing this. We have a good time. It's a lot of hard work, but audio dramas are where it's at, folks. It's where it's at. We've been on an hour. We're going to end on this note, because on a hopeful note that this show is really good, you guys. I'm telling you, season 1 is out already. And where can they find season 1?
Anywhere you listen to your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Or TAND podcast at all the socials.
Yes, I think I put it in there. Matt's like, it's not their anniversary. Well, not their anniversary. It's their first picture they posted together, right?
No, today is the anniversary of our first date.
First date, yeah.
Last month we had our anniversary for when we got married. Yes, and John was like, should I? He's like, I feel like it's overkill if I post it. I was like,
it is overkill. It is overkill.
I said, who gives a fuck?
Bitter queen.
Boy, I'm bitter. I'm bitter as fuck.
We are in love and happy, and that's something people they look at us. They're like, you have no problem. I'm like, no, we don't fight. We don't. We don't. Like,
we guys talk everything out, right?
We talk about so much. Like,
I was saying that was good because I had a cousin who they didn't fight for 10 years and they broke up, and I was like, and all this stuff came out. So I'm just saying, as long as you guys are talking, then you don't have to fight. If you're talking to each other, you don't have to fight.
And we're we're similar in a lot of ways, but we're very different too.
Yeah.
So like the TV, which has always been my point of comfort and everything. He doesn't watch a lot of TV. He does more reading. So it kind of just we work out. I had a really bad relationship before John, and it's been nice and he did too. And we knew that we did not want to repeat history. So we knew there were things we wanted that and we worked through things.
I'm bitter as fuck, but I do love you both. You know that. I love
Oh,
you.
thank you. Well, it's not a competition, even though some people always try to make it one.
They always try to do that, but no, I
It's
mean,
just like with audio drama. We're not competing with anyone. We're just trying to make content and have fun.
I agree with that also. No, that's a philosophy I really live by too. Just we're putting out. I'm in my own lane, putting shit out. He's in his lane, putting stuff out, and hopefully you'll find it and you enjoy it. And I noticed that your numbers are going up and people are listening. So, folks, all my Lotties out there, you know you love me. Go take a listen to season 1. Get ready because season 2 is coming out. I'm in it. He's in it. He's still dead. He's in it. And with our shirts, he's still dead. But I tell you should listen to it. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll really enjoy it. I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't good, I wouldn't be having him on the show. So you guys, it's good. Trust me.
He's not wrong.
Thank you, folks. Thank you guys for being on the show, of course.
Thank you.
And again, it's the Southern Queer Network, right? That's your big network.
Yes,
and he's also Queers and Soaps. Make sure you watch that all over the place. But see, if the Empire's building, Old Cove is coming at some point.
Oh, and it's gonna be a doozy.
Yes.
Like,
oh, maybe I could be alive in one of those flashbacks.
Like,
there you go. There you go.
I'm very bad at giving away things I'm not good at present keeping or anything like that either. So when it comes to Old Cove, I'm kind of just like, it's good. Like I'm reading the scripts and I'm like, oh my God, it's good. So
we should give a shout out to your co-writers for some of y'all.
Oh, yes. Matthew, who plays Sawyer, is co-writing episodes of Tomorrow's a New Day, and then Rick Clifton is co-writing Old Cove as well as directing. So I don't want to butcher Matthew's last name.
My husband. I love you, Rick. He's my on mic husband. I love him. Make sure I say that. You guys, tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow is a new day, of course. I'm James Lott Jr. here for JLJ Media. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. All my audio dramas are out right now. There's 17 of them. Just type in JLJ Media and they'll all pop up. But my biggest one is the email. So you check out the emails. My number one so far. It's so funny. It's so good. You have to listen to it. It's a crazy caper about an email. You've all sent the wrong email out, right? Once or twice. It's all about what happens when you send out the wrong email. We just finished recording season 3. That's coming out soon. So check that out. But check out people's audio dramas. Go around and check them out. Just like see what people are talking about and what characters are being made, and support indie artists.
I have an idea for a spinoff of the email.
You really? Don't send me. Tell me. Off camera, tell me. I'm always open for stuff like that. And yes, Matt, you are my side piece. Everybody, I love you guys. We'll see you next time.